Welcome to this demonstration of Autodesk Revit architecture. Let's see how Revit's model-based approach to design can help you make more informed design decisions, produce documentation more effectively, improve collaboration, and help you design more sustainably. Before we get started, let's just take a quick look at the Revit architecture user interface. So first of all, across the top we have the ribbon bar where we can access the various functions that we require to create the building model. What you'll notice is that information is presented to you in a context-sensitive manner. So the tools that you require are presented to you when you need them. This makes it easy to navigate around and also easy to learn. Below that we have the Properties palette, which will enable you to select various properties for different elements within the project. Underneath the properties you'll see the project browser. Within Revit you're typically working in a single building model. So within that you can navigate between all of the different views of the building model. There are exceptions to this. Multiple buildings on a site, you would have one building per file. Or on a very large project, you may break the project down logically. So let's first switch over to level 0, and we're just going to open up this plan view, and what I'm going to do now is just zoom into that, and what I'd like to do is just start adding some elements to it. So I'm going to select my wall tool. I'm presented with information about the wall types available to me, and it's important to note that in Revit you can make a change at any time. So in the early stages of design, there's no problem with me just using very generic components which I can add more specificity to later on. So I'm just going to come down here and start drawing a wall like so. Very easy to do. I'm now going to put some doors in there, and what you'll notice is I can't put the doors into free space. They understand that they need to be hosted by an element such as a wall. So I'm just going to place some doors like so, and what I'm also going to do is just change the dimensions. So within Revit everything is dimension driven. That makes it very easy to make a change, and also means that it can reduce the amount of manual effort required when I need to make that change. So I'm just going to change those like so. What I could also do is I could select the door and I could make the dimension permanent here, and what I could do with that is also with this little lock build a relationship between that door and that wall. Now, if there's a design change and I need to actually move that wall, so I'm going to make a smaller room here, like so, you'll notice that the door moved, but the relationship between the door and the wall was maintained. It wasn't maintained for the other door because I didn't form a relationship with it. I can delete that and I can choose to keep that relationship or not, but it again makes it very easy for me to reduce the amount of manual effort required when I make a design change. I'm now going to drop a room into there. So it's a very important function. So with the room we are able to schedule it, we're able to get floor areas, but also we're able to use it for energy analysis and colour fill plans. Just going to make a change to that, and I'm going to call this one info point, like so, and on this one here I'm just going to change that to office. Okay, like so. Now I could have representations of this information in different ways. So with the tags, for example, I could say I want both areas to be shown on those tags. So as you can see, automatically the areas are being generated for those. So I've got various options in the way that the information is presented to me. Okay, that's very straightforward and very easy to do. So just zoom out of there. What you'll also see, if I just come into this colour plan, is that I'm able to represent the information in many different ways. So here, for example, if I just edit this scheme, you'll see that I can use a range of Pantone colours to actually describe the information as I see fit. So just zoom out of there, very easy, very straightforward to do. Okay, so let's move on now and look at some other aspects. Let's now open up another model view, and what I'm going to do first of all is I'm just going to go in and I'm going to open up this one here, which has an animated solar study. So I can preview a solar study stepping through hours of the day to get a good understanding of overshadowing issues or potential daylighting issues. I could also open up one which has a sun path shown. So here we see the sun path, and I can drag the sun around the sun path in different increments, and again get more control over the sun path so I can understand again shadowing issues. But of course with that model information there's a lot more we can do with it. So I could export that information out to Ecotect Analysis and perform various analyses on the model data. In this example, I've performed a daylight analysis to understand the use of natural daylight within the terminal space. I could also export the model information using Green Building markup language to Green Building Studio and perform whole building energy analysis. As we step through, let's take a look at some other views. Just going to open up another view here, and what we can do is place cameras very easily around our building model. And what we can do then is utilize the powerful rendering functionality within Revit to actually perform a render to give us a good quality visualization. So let's just see an example of that down here. So this is view 3. You can see here the render capability. I've not put a lot of effort into actually creating that render. I've just specified a few materials, but it really helps with in-process communication or with marketing material. And if I want to go more advanced in terms of visualization, I can export it to the 3ds Max product using our FBX format. That really shows that we can produce compelling visualizations by utilizing the model data. The model-based approach to design also can provide us with more insight into the design itself. So by having the powerful sectioning capability here with the three-dimensional model, we can actually get a better understanding of design intent and a better understanding of constructability. It's a really useful tool for helping us to explore the design data and explore the model. But we don't have to be that detailed. We can start at the various earliest stages with information such as massing to explore forms and to start to build up the envelope. And also, even at that early stage, we can utilize the solar radiation plugin to again give us information about the potential performance of the building. From there, let's just open up an elevation view. And what's important to understand here is that the elevation is just another representation of the model information. So we can turn on shadows, and the shadows are described correctly because the objects understand their relationships to each other. I'm just going to zoom in now, and let's think about how we can leverage more information within the model itself. So what I'm going to do now is use some annotation tools. First of all, let's look at a multi-category tag. As I come down with this tag, what it enables me to do is annotate automatically, so just picking a couple of those wall types there. I could also utilize a material tag. So here with the curtain wall panels, I can see a description of the walls like so. So very straightforward, very easy for me to do. Let's just adjust that slightly as well. But what's important is that actually if I make a design change, so what I'm going to do now is just change that to a blue glaze system, you'll notice that the tag is automatically updated. This reduces the potential for error in documentation and reduces the potential for wastage on site. And we can just undo that, and that will switch back to black. But we've got a lot of curtain wall panels in the model, and we want to understand the quantities of those. So we can actually look at a different type of view now, which is the material takeoff. Now I've not sat there and entered all of the panels into this schedule. This is just another view of the model, and so it's counted all of the panels automatically. In Revit, we can add parameters for any type of information that we require. So here we've added a cost and used a formula to give us the panel cost. We could also add other information such as embodied energy, so it becomes a very powerful tool in understanding quantities and helping to design out waste within the project. Let's look at another type of schedule, in this case the room schedule. What you'll see here is that the rooms that I placed into the plan view have already appeared in the schedule. Again, I've not entered them manually, it's just another view of the model. So here we have the info point that I placed, but we can also use other functionalities such as schedule keys to fill out more information in the schedule. So by selecting the room type, you'll see that it also enters all of the finishes. This reduces the time taken to produce schedule information. When we print this information, it will always be current for whichever status the model is in. So we have there the info point. What we could actually do as well, if we're trying to find where that is highlight that in the model. So what that will now do is open a view for me, and that will take me directly through to where that exists. What I'm able to do now is actually tile those schedule and view together. So I'm just going to tile those like so, and let's just get rid of the curtain panel. Tile those again. So what I want to show here is that it's actually possible to make a change in either the plan or the schedule. So first of all, what I'd like to do is just change this office to ticketing. I'm changing that within the schedule. Okay, it's a little spelling mistake there, let's just get that right. So I changed that to ticketing, and there we have it, it's changed from the schedule in the plan. Very, very powerful functionality. We could do it the other way around, so if we wanted to, we could change the info point. Let's change this to an office, and what you'll see is that when I've changed it in the plan, it's automatically changed within the schedule itself. So very, very powerful. Just going to change this tag here so that we have it with both areas so they match. At any time we can make a change within Revit, and it's very, very powerful for doing that. So there you'll see the power of scheduling and the fact that you can make a change anywhere. So if a change anywhere is a change everywhere with Revit. From there, let's just look at how we can draw a section through the building model. So I'm just going to maximize my plan view here, like so. And what I can do is come up to my quick access toolbar, and I'm literally going to draw a section through the model itself. So I can do that, place the section line onto the plan view. As soon as I've done that, what you'll see is that I get an entry within the project browser for my section. I can simply go though over to the section tag, and I can open it from there as well if I require. So I've got two options from where I can open the section itself. So I'm now just going to turn off the boundary around there, the crop boundary, and I'm just going to tile together the two sections. So here we can see that we have the section view. So let's just rearrange those slightly so that we can get them above each other. So just going to rearrange my windows like so. And what I'll do then is just zoom in to those. Okay, so got my section and have my plan view. What you'll see is that I can actually flip the view as well. So very easy for me to do that. I can, at any time, the section view is live. But what's also important, as we showed with the schedule, is that wherever we select an element, we can make a change. So if I select it in the section or in the plan, both have the door highlighted because the door only exists once within the building model. I could make a change to that door. So for example, I could make that a different door type, or let's just make that a single one for this occasion. You can see how the door type has changed in both the section and the plan, but it will also have changed in the schedule as well. This really leads to the power of Revit, the fact that you can coordinate by changing only one element at a time, and all of your documentation will remain coordinated and consistent. So that concludes the presentation of Autodesk Revit architecture. What you've seen from that presentation is that it's a powerful model-based design tool. It enables you to make more informed design decisions. It enables you to coordinate your documentation and reduce the amount of manual effort required when creating change. It enables you to extract quantities from the model and schedule, all of which are coordinated back to the model itself. It enables you to produce visualizations that can help you sell your ideas and communicate better with the rest of the design team. Thank you for watching this presentation of Autodesk Revit Architecture.